Okay, dokie do. Okay. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? You guys can hear me? Hello, hello. Okay. Yep, you guys can hear me. How are you guys doing? Enjoying the. How was your weekend? Like everything going good? So today I have a couple of special things again for you guys because I was working a little bit during the weekend. I know like I try to take breaks on the weekend so I don't burn myself out. But this weekend I promised that I will work on something. This couple of people who were watching on Friday asking about some stuff. So I want to show you some progress I have made. It's not 100% complete, but I just want to show you that what I was doing so you know like what's coming in future and why sometimes on the weekends I'm not able to stream. But this is something really good. And I think this applies to all basically like I think everyone here because a lot of people have asked me this question. So I wanted to like share this thing. It's not online right now, but will be. So let me share my screen here. Okay. So I'm working on something called resume tips to get into FAN, right? This one, I'm mentioning about a bunch of things, and it will be a long, long, long blog, but easy to read, easy to capture what's going on and everything. Because I know, like, I want to make sure it's easy to read, but also it develops a mindset for you guys to understand why something I'm asking you to do, what is the reason behind it. So it gives you extra motivation to do what needs to be done. Yeah, that's one. Second, I have created another channel called Lofi Learning. That one I just come online, play music while I'm working. The reason I created it because let's say if it's just there is nothing much, just like songs going on. So if you can just subscribe to it, it will help me get the monetization and all the money I make there can be put into the giveaways on this Discord. So just one update. Second blog resume, right? I mentioned another thing coming. Today we'll be working on OVAP's top 10 stream, but also for our project Soup, I will be working on the Python, right? So couple of things, good things I have ready for you. So with that being said, let's get going into our stuff. Yeah. Okay, good to go. Hopefully, this is the link for the OVAP room today. There let me just point it out. Okay, awesome. And yeah, let me see. I don't see much people today, which is interesting. Usually there is a bunch of people by this time. On the Discord, I did post it, right? Yeah, it's posted on Discord. Not much people are online right now. Makes sense. Okay, so with that being said, let's just get going into OVAP's top 10. Learn about and exploit each of the OVAP's top 10 vulnerabilities and the 10 most critical web security risks. So we completed the injection ones, right? In which we had this Python one. We had to get basically like the shell inside it, like to see what are the commands we can run and get like these tags and all those stuff. So we did that. Now we are going into the severity two, the one above the injection one, which is called broken authentication. Authentication and authorization, one thing. Authentication is, let's say, if a postman wants to enter to your building, right, or deliver a thing, first at the door, they needs to be authenticated that they are the postman, right? Authentication is who you are saying you are. Are you the person who you are saying you are? If I say my name is Censored Hacker, how do I prove it? With the user and password. So yes, I am that person. Authorization is, let's say, in the building the postman enters, but which building level he is allowed to go? Level 2, level 3, level 4, which one, right? So he's not allowed to go on level 3 and 4. That's security, just like 1 and 2. So that's authorization. So easy thing to understand once you are able to figure it out in real life examples. Now, with that being said, let's get into broken authentication. Authentication and session management constitute core components of modern web applications. Authentication allows users. Oh, I see. One thing I just noticed, one second. This might be a problem for a lot of people, I guess. So, what I can do, because I think this will be hard to then make it hard to see. Where should I put this? I'll put it here on the top. Can you enter some of the messages? I want to make sure this one doesn't take a lot of work. Let me do some test messages. So this makes sense. Can you enter some of the messages? Type something. I want to make sure. Yeah, just test message. I want to see with the new one. Okay, it goes up here. I think that's much better than like going in the middle. There are less messages shown, but like I think this will do the job because it will block a lot of people's view, right? Now let's say if I transfer here, one interesting thing, I never noticed this before. So are you able to see, right? Like makes sense, right? So you're able to see now much better, right? So that's good. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, as I was saying, authentication and session management. Authentication and session management constitute core components of modern web application. Authentication allows user to gain access to web applications by verifying their identities. So basically, let's say if I'm on OneDrive or Facebook, authentication helps me to get access to that. The most common form of authentication is using a username and password mechanism, like Facebook username and password. A user would enter these credentials, the server would verify them. If they are correct, the server would then provide the user's browser with a session cookie. So to give you an example, you can go, let me go to a better place. So let's say if I want to go to a good website, let's say if to log in, right? It can be Facebook. Easy example, right? I'll just type anything random. It might not work. It won't work. Like I know that. Didn't work, right? Still going in, anything, right? Didn't work. But now, if you see in the memory application, there is session storage. And here you will see some extra information ready for me, including the local storage, which will also have like some more information, like the session cookie. This is the session cookie. If somebody steals this information from your browser, they basically like store almost the sample, like your password from you. Because this is what now, because you don't have to type all the time to do anything, right? Changing the profile picture, they know it's you. How? Because this extra value is also passed all the time in the background. So that's how things work. A user would enter these credentials, the server would verify them. If they are correct, the server would then provide the user's browser with a session cookie. And a session cookie, a know who is, a know who what? Is a session cookie. A session cookie is needed because web server use HTTP or HTTPS to communicate with is stateless. Stateless is like if you are going to a vending machine, it's stateless. After all the operations you have done, it goes back to the same state. So that's called stateless. Attaching session cookies means that the server will know who is sending that data. So with this session cookie here, it will know. It changes over time, and the Facebook server will know, okay, who is sending it was me, right? Attaching session cookie means that the server will know who is sending the data. Server can keep track of users' action. If an attacker is able to find flaws in the authentication mechanism, they would then successfully gain access to the user's account. This would allow the attacker to access sensitive data. Depending on the purpose of the application, some Common flaws in the authentication mechanism include brute force attacks. If a web application uses username, usernames and password, an attacker is able to launch brute force attack that allow them to guess the username and password using multiple authentication methods. So you might use something like rocky.txt, and I think I mentioned this sick list GitHub file. This one has so many authentication, like for password, right? So many passwords are there. So many passwords are there. So you can even, there are some of the malwares are also there to help you do some stuff with like so many common passwords and usernames. I'll just share this thing if you guys want here. So this will help you like look at like so many common passwords are there in the system. And a very good one, I use it for all my hacks. This is a really good library. So with that username and password, right? Because brute force attacks, like I'm using those already common usernames and password to attack, and that's why a lot of companies now they started doing. Let's say if you try a username and say forgot password, that was one of the ways to tell people that to tell the hackers, okay, is this username or this email in this is has account in the system. Like for example, with Facebook, if you type censored hacker, you know it's there, but which email is there located, right? So you can do that, but that's how they are able to find those information. But now what they do, they say if this email ID exists with us, we'll send it. If not, we won't. That's the whole idea. Use of weak credentials. Web application would set strong password policies if applications allow users to set passwords such as password1 or common passwords like admin or 1234, right? Or even QWERTY, those type of one. And then an attacker is able to easily guess them and access user accounts. They can do this without brute forcing and without multiple attempts. Very easy to do because like if you are you can create a bot to do it, and that can like break the system within like a day. Weak session cookies. Session cookies are how the server keeps track of users. If session cookie contains predictable values, an attacker can set their own session cookies and access users account. That's important. So this is interesting thing we can look into. This is an interesting thing to have in your belt. Broken. Shun. There can be various mitigations for broken authentication mechanism depending on the exact flaw. So to avoid password guessing attacks, ensure the application enforces a strong password policy. To avoid brute force attacks, ensure the application enforces an automatic lockout after a certain number of attempts. This would prevent an attacker from launching more brute force attacks. Implement multi-factor authentication. If a user has multiple methods for authentication, for example, using username and passwords, and receiving a code on their mobile device, then this would be difficult for an attacker to guess both the things. That's why it's always said to have those multi-factor authentication helps a lot. So I've understood this. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, we are at 49, baby. Tomorrow we'll be at half century. Excuse me. Let me drink some. That's pretty nice. Broken authentication practical. So let's start our machine. For this example, we are looking at a logic. Let me close this. For this example, we are looking at a logic flaw within the authentication mechanism. A lot of times what happens is that developers forget to sanitize the input, basically username and password. Oh, I'm drinking a very good ginger honey tea, ginger honey lemon tea. Really like it. A lot of time what happens is that the developer forgets to sanitize the input, username and password given by the user in the code of their application, which can make them vulnerable to attacks like SQL injection. Okay, wait, hold up. This is important. Developer forgets to sanitize the, so if I, let's say in Facebook here, what they are saying if I'm here, they are not if they don't sanitize this data, I can come up with something like a script or something, right? That if that's not sanitized, it's really bad. Ginger, honey, lemon tree. Yeah. Not tree, but tea. Yeah. Come on. Nobody drinks tree, bro. What the hell? I'm joking. Joking, panda. Thank you. But yeah, however, we are going to focus on a vulnerability that happens because of a developer's mistake, but is very easy to exploit. Re-registration of an existing user. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Let's say there is an existing user with the name admin, and now we want to get access to their account. So what we can do is try to re-register that user name, but with slight modification. We are going to enter admin. Notice the space in the starting. So basically this one here, this guy. So now when you enter that in the username field and enter other required information like email ID and password and submit that data, it will actually register a new user with that user. We sorry, it will actually register a new user with that user will have, but that user will have the same rights as the normal admin. There is a difference technically because in the system it will store, but inside SQL, I think they will remove the first one. So technically for the code, it will be a new user, right? In Java string or JavaScript or any other Python, it is different. But in SQL, when the data goes in, then that's a different thing. Or maybe it might register, who knows? Depends on how things are implemented. The new user will also be able to see all the content present under the user admin. To see this in action, go to this one. Okay, let's go to this URL. Okay, I'll start my VirtualBox. Starting my Kali Gali. Hey, come on, come on, come on. Hey, I'm here. This one doesn't need to be done. I'll just restart the VPN connection, right? Redo it. Way more better because like refreshes things, so if there was any issues, it won't happen. Starting a new terminal, and let's go to that URL first. This is the URL. Authentication. Learn about attacking authentication. This room will focus on teaching on basics of attacking the authentication system. Okay, so that's good. First thing I always do is like check the HTML, man. So many times the code something is there. It's so good. Okay, nothing is here. That's good. Or fine, I would say not good. Here, nothing. Sounds good. So nothing is there, which is okay for us. One thing we can do, look at another thing is data performance memory storage. Not storage. Network, let's see. Okay, nothing interesting for us. What we can do now, here, let's say admin. So I want to do it by myself before going into that. So invalid credentials, header, request. Okay, what was the request sent? Login request sent was this. Okay. How about I do admin? Invalid password. So we know that is not working. We'll go outside this or register. Let's look at the register one. We have the username, password. Okay, let's go with same the way they did it. Admin, email, hello, admin at thm.com. No, I'll do admin. That's way easier. Let's register like this. Okay, submit content like this. Okay, they want to submit in form in the back. Okay, sounds good. Now let's do with the space, right? All our system, but with space admin. Admin. Did that work? Logged in as admin. So that worked. But how do I know if that was like a good, like I have to, I think, test it. This is like a way manual thing. You need to log in with specific account to be able to find the flag. Specific account. Okay. Let's look at here what they want. I want to see like what are the other things that are present, whether in the network tab and stuff, so that might give us some idea of what things that are available. Static JS tasks. Let's see. Challenge. Okay. Nothing is here, so probably have to look. Authentication, collapse, head, auth hacks. Nothing. Bootstrap won't do anything probably. Okay, let's look at the debug for the debugger. Maybe we might have username here. Username. Okay, what this say? First, prettify this actually. Username. Where you at? Okay, open. It's just this here or somewhere else as well. Admin is not there. Okay. Is admin here? No, username maybe. We have to look for a proper login as admin logged. How can I find that username? What other ways I can find? Maybe what I can do is use a good old burp suite, maybe. But I have to. Okay, so let's look at this. Logged. Okay. You need to log in with a specific account to be able to find the flag. We have to find like the username. What would be a good way to find the right username? One thing I can do, right, is use Burp Suite, use password thing, repeat that, send to intruder, repeat that, and then whichever one will say, okay, wrong password, that's our guy. So let's do that way. So Burp Suite Community Edition is good. Like this is where Burp Suite came in healthy, right? All the things we did, like good amount of work. Start Burp. I really want to reach a level where I can buy the Burp Suite's professional version. That'll be so sick. Proxy. Start open proxy, right? I'm going here. I want to just see a couple of things first. Intercept should be on. Admin, right? Sign in. Forward, get. This is registered. Now I'll go intercept off for a second. Register, space, admin, Gmail, admin, right? Now I forward this. Get, okay, now let's look at the history. The one we care about first is the login, where there are parameters set. I can delete. There's error already registered, invalid credentials. That's a big one. Then login, then submit, right? Submit one we have in the register submit. We are sending this information. So this is the one we want to send to the intruder later. No, not even send it. So here, login one we have to send. Because then we will be able to tell which one works and which one doesn't. You should be automatically. Okay. No, wait, hold up. I want to go based on which happened first. Okay, this one is better. Went here, static vehicle login, did this, and now with this, the response came like the invalid credentials. Title auth track. So let's try again, but differently. Admin, admin, sign in. Now let me send this to intruder. That's our guy. Sniper tag, insert each payload with each relation one at a time. Yeah, I think I just need to look at add here. So simple list, duplicate load. Pursuit intruder, no. I want to go actually in home or maybe user share. User share. Now, I would go in. A good one will be like an easy one. Let's see if what try hack me suggest for this. Try register with the username Darren. You will see that the username already exists. So I don't want to try directly with Darren. What I can do is try with a small, a way smaller, what's this called? A way smaller list just to see, right? Because that's how things will work in real life. And that's how I want you to learn with me, right? Like if we are learning, we can't just go on with what's suggested. We have to try with our own. So security list, password, no. I want usernames. Top usernames shortlist. Okay. I'll take this. Let's see. This one might not. But let's say start attack. Some functionalities are disabled. That's fine. A lot of times response received matches basically how many characters were sent, almost similar. Puppet, like response here, all are redirecting. All are redirecting. All are being redirecting, so that won't work. There was one about redirecting. There is one function here, discard, which is about redirecting. But I think like we can just use Darren for now and get done with this. But what is the function that we did? Let's see here. I need to make notes of all the things I've been doing from last couple of months. With try hack me, we have let's see. Try hack me, I have burp suite. Let me see. Burp intruder. So burp suite here. Then I would need like for myself, right? I think for me, I will like start looking at the intruder. Which one do you think is it? I don't think it's in repeater. Maybe in other modules. Yeah, let's look at that. Sequencer live capture. Okay. Oh, this is with sequencer comparer. That's not needed. Decoder, no. Sequencer live capture. So that's way different. Okay, let's go back to intruder. Sniper attack we did, battering ram, pitchfork cluster, extra mile challenge. So we have to like get the token. So let's see. Perplexity, hacking, in burp read, which feature can I use so I can see the info about the read page. Um, I want to know which burp suite feature will help me in this. So I am currently in a CTF challenge, right? I'm currently in a CTF challenge. In this CTF challenge, what I want is basically the challenge. I enter the username and password, and I get in response redirect. Okay. In the redirect page, it says if the username was correct or not, right? Should how to capture what is the info on the next page if I am trying over. Now, this is our question. I think it's a good, well written question. To capture the information on the redirect page while trying thousands of users in CTF challenge using Burpsy, you should use the intruder feature with its automatic redirection functionality. Here's how. Capture, right? Attack, sniper attack, load, pay, load, right? In the intruder option, ensure that follow redirection is set to always off. Okay, that's our main thing, I guess. Intrusion. I think I have to go to settings here. Intruder. No. Redirect. Where's the redirect one? Right. Always. This is in the okay here, right? Redirect always. Okay, cool. Well, that's in repeater. Okay. What's next? Close this guy. Not needed. Ensure follow redirection is always here. This. Professional. Interesting. This will make Burp automatically follow the redirect of each request and capture the responses from redirect page. Start the attack. Burp will now send requests with different username and capture the response with the redirect pages. Analyze the result. Okay. Okay. This is good then. So now what I can do? Let's see if this one, but I want to add the one that's by Try Hack Me itself, Darren, because it's not in our small list. It will never be. But it's added here. Now let's start the attack. We are just doing it on the username. Let's see. Okay. Payload response. This is a weird one. Like, do not even try here. But now we know to route all these. Admin status code is okay. Response, let's see. Redirect all the things, right? I want to see rendering invalid. Okay. Invalid credentials is coming, but I want to see with the other one. What does it say? Invalid credentials. It says invalid for all of them. Interesting. Invalid credentials, invalid credentials. But what if? Huh. I think then I can do is I have to look into that way. This is a bummer, but it's all good. We know with the Darren works, right? Because we were able to create another account with the admin. So now let's just register with Darren and see. We'll put a space because the user or like basically the database will take that with the SQL. So Darren at Gmail, let's say. Darren. This will work because technically Darren, a space in the start is a different name, right? See the username. Now, one thing to do is Darren, but I want to show you there is no space here. Add space. Darren. Guest us our flag here. Oh boy, I can't copy this, but I can go in the inspect and I can copy the inspect here. No, not covering. I don't want to come. Here we go. Our flag is here. Not that bad. Room for this. Okay. Now try to do the same trick and see if you can log in as Arthur. Okay. Let's see with the Arthur what works. Arthur admin. Admin. Never save. Invalid username or password. Okay. Arthur at g.com. Arthur with space, right? Let's see. It worked, I think, right? Arthur. Oh, wait, it didn't. So I think I have to find a way now to trick the system. So they purposely put that. What could be the other way to do it? Maybe it would be Arthur, multiple spaces. Let's see now. Here, I'll just put admin. Arthur. With multiple spaces, that's basically taking in a different direction. Not that bad of a room, just to give you an idea of how broken authentication when things are not done properly can work out. Okay, so we are at task 3. Let's see what this one is about. Sensitive data exposure challenge and stuff. So this is good. This is fine. We completed our, at least for this one, right? For 45 minutes, we completed this part. Now what we can do is go back to our project Soup, which we were always working on, and start working on learning the Python quickly, right? I'll just change the Twitch one because I know I think maybe I can change the YouTube. Let me just change the title and start working on this. So live stream, project Soup. Project Soup, I think I will even do during the weekends too. So probably just stick around day two. And I want to put like 100 element maybe on it. I don't know. Let's see. Day two, that's updated. And I'll go on here. Boom, boom. Day two, save. Okay, cool. So we completed this, right? Now I'm going to go over some of the things with Hugging Face first. Then we'll keep on going towards the next challenge and all those things, right? The goody good stuff. But let's take a quick break. Give me like 1 minute. I'll just go to the washroom. Let's take a break maybe. Oh, I can put ads. All good. Then we'll take break when the ads come because then I don't want to keep on taking breaks in between and breaks the focus, right? So now Project Soup AI hacking. Not AI hacking, but AI basically. Close this. This is fun. So I went over a couple of things on Hugging Face yesterday, over the weekend. Here is the thing we can go and look into, and this is I'm going to help you and myself too, I guess, through this course. First is diffusion course. What diffusion is? Ways on how people we can create images. That's what diffusion technology, diffusion models are all about. So in this free course, you will learn and Bastian, I will have Pluralsight, all these right things you mentioned. Now going on day two. It's interesting. I think I'm writing almost a blog every day, which is cool, I guess. Uh, Python. File contain cannot name cannot contain any of these ones. Okay. How about this? Day two, starting Hugging Face and Python learning. Okay, sounds good. Let's get going here. So, Hugging Face diffusion model course. We will be starting with Hugging Face diffusion. Good part is because I will be posting everything online so you guys can see diffusion model course. Copy this. Okay, in this free course, you will learn study the theory behind diffusion models, great. Learn how to generate images and audio with popular diffuser libraries. Train your diffusion models from scratch. Fine-tune existing diffusion models on new data sets. Explore conditional generation and guidance. Create your own custom diffusion model pipelines. Prerequisite. This code requires a good level in Python and grounding in deep learning. So we need basically these two things. And PyTorch. Okay. Good learning coming along then. So let's start with Python, right? Python is needed. Not sure if you guys are good at Python or not. I know a little bit of Python, but not to an advanced level where I'm using PyTorch and stuff. So I'll be starting with this. And I know a couple of good places. First thing is a good old Pluralsight, right? We have the free version of it. And let's see what they recommend, right? These are free courses they recommend, so they won't be talking about Pluralsight and stuff, which is paid. But as I mentioned, right, you can get it for free. So let me know if you want me to show you again. But here we have why Python programming, data types and operators, data structures, control flow, functions, scripting, advanced topics. I don't know what's in advanced topics. Let's see. I forgot. I can't go resume. Okay. Iterators, see the iterators, basically for loops and like how lists and arrays are iterable. Iterators and generators. Okay. Let's look at this one, Python from here. I was looking at NVIDIA too, some of the three things and stuff from there. Python 3 fundamentals. What is the top level one? Do they don't have level? Python connection, let's see. Built-in containers and all those. So that's advanced, which is a whole advanced level. So what we can do is then, instead of advanced, just go back to Python, the big picture, Python here, fast. Entry level, the big picture, the fundamentals, class and oriented. So this is important, classes and stuff, because we will be using those. Databases and files, we need that because we'll be getting stuff from the files like our prompts, our images, all the stuff we'll be putting in the extension. Best practices, sure. Development environments, not so much. Testing, not so much. Regex, maybe not. REST API, maybe, maybe not. Decorators, maybe, good thing. Request playbook. Okay, so let's get started here. Let's get Python fundamentals versus this. Wait, hold on. Expand for details. Course overview, why Python, what is Python, syntax, general purpose, multi-paradigm. Okay. This is not a good UI. Let's close this guy. Module summary, okay. Pros and cons, cool. Not needed. Course overview, run Python, explore data types. This is our one. So we can just start with this. Let me post this one for you guys before starting. And then let's just dive in. Again, remember, you can use Python's Microsoft Visual Studio Dev for this. Start the course. What? Give me one sec. I'll bring something else here. I'm making a diary with AI and soup written on it. So everything I want to put, I like writing more than like typing, honestly, because I think hand and brain have more better connection when you're moving with the hand, the arm, compared to just tips. Better learning for me. So based on the requirements, first be starting with Python. Or maybe I can go back to course. And in the course, I can create the hyperlink. Right. Okay, close this. Cool. So I have this ready. Now let's go into this. And let me make myself a bit away here. Webcam on side a bit more. So hopefully that's better.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Holderness and welcome to my course Python 3 Fundamentals. Python is a great programming language for beginners and experts alike because it's easy to learn and use and also has libraries that allow you to build pretty much anything, from data science to machine learning to web development. In this course, we're going to learn the fundamentals of Python while building practical Python programs like a loan calculator, a rock, paper, scissors game, an acronym translator, and a weather reader. Some of the major topics that we'll cover include writing a Python program, input and output, data types, web requests, and installing and using Python packages.
So writing Python program, input, output, data types, web requests. Okay, web requests will involve API, which is good. One thing before doing, and I will recommend this to everyone here, GitHub, create a simple GitHub. This will be a private one for me. So group daily. So blog learning coding, private, add a readme. Right now there is nothing. So, and I will just pull this in quickly here, a new Visual Studio window. So first I will go and create the terminal. Easiest thing, go into the terminal. Is there a better terminal? We have command prompt get bash Ubuntu. I have a better. Ubuntu I like more than get bash. Or let's say documents. And the ad is not starting, right? Anytime soon, okay. Okay. Documents, videos, I'll go in documents. MKDIR. This is something I can create. Soup collection. And get clone. Here I can do the get clone. Oh wait, sorry. First I have to cancel this. Delete soup collection. Get clone. Username. What does say? Performance tip. Okay. Password. Okay. I think direct password doesn't work for it. I have to create an authentication key. For this. So I'm going to just not share my screen for a second here. Settings. One thing I can do is okay, okay, let's see. First I'm using here, so and okay. Because VS Code can do all the stuff for us, so I don't have to create all those things. What I just have to do is not share my screen and be an idiot about it. Just here. Okay, hold up. There's some error happening, so I think here, documents, soup collection. Yeah, I think it's because for a reason I know. I'm sorry, I can't show you all the things because like I am just adding the repository without giving. Okay. I hate myself right now. Made the same mistake twice. Document, select folder. Data says not can't see that repository. Huh. This is crazy. Turn on $server remote tunnel access. Sign in to GitHub to use. Repository not found. Hey, interesting. Now I can share my screen because I know now the thing is there to hide. But this is crazy. Daily, this here, right? Code, git clone. This is crazy. Why? Credentials manager, okay. Adobe has so many of these. Just I'm just removing all my credentials from regarding GitHub. Okay, that's good now. It's good. Let's see. Now will this work? Can you that work? Delete everything. That always works. That's good to know. So now this is Soup Daily, right? Open the folder. I'll just open it in Soup Daily. This is where we'll work daily on this code. This is our vibe coding, baby. This is our vibe coding. The biggest BS of our day. Okay. Learning Python. I'm just going to divide it in this way. Uh, and everything will have snake. Okay, so I think that should be fine. Okay, now we are good to go. Let's go to plural side and see. Hopefully, no ads are coming. Okay, so ad break is starting in like 1 minute second. So I'll take a quick break too. And I'll be back. I just have to go to washroom. And same for the YouTube here. Quickly break, pause, and then I'll be back. I'm just setting up, going to set up the timing here for everybody can see, right? If anybody joins. Time right now is 23:50. So this works. Okay. Okay, I am back. Back. Okay, let's start going. Alrighty, ready? Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, so we have our system set up. Let's go into the course.
By the end of this course, you'll know the fundamentals of Python and will have real-world experience building practical Python programs. This course starts from the beginning, so there are no prerequisites. I hope you'll join me on this journey to learn Python with the Python 3 Fundamentals course at Pluralsight. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Holderness, and this is Python 3 Fundamentals, where we're going to learn Python by applying the fundamentals to many different practical examples. In this module, let's jump into data types and input and output. Before we start, I'd like to say that you've made a wise decision to choose Python. Among the many reasons you may have chosen Python is, number one, it's
Thanks for letting me know, Panda. Thank you.
by applying the fundamentals to many different practical examples. In this module, let's jump into data types and input and output. Before we start, I'd like to say that you've made a wise decision to choose Python. Among the many reasons you may have chosen Python is, number one, it's versatile, meaning you can use Python for pretty much anything, from data science to machine learning to web development and more. Number two, Python has a strong community, meaning there's a Python library for pretty much anything. And number three, it's easy to learn. It's like English or another written language, and it's concise. At the end of this module, we're going to create a simple program that tells you how old you are in decades and years. It will ask you how old you are, and so let's enter 202 because today I feel that old, having to get up early, and then it will output how old you are in decades and years. Believe it or not, this simple program has a lot of working parts that we need to understand. How to get input from the user,
Okay.
How to save that input to a variable, how to do simple math calculations, convert numbers to text, and print the results to the screen. By the end of this module, you'll see how to do all of these things to create our age calculator. We'll start by saving numbers to variables and doing simple math calculations. You can follow along if you want on your own computer, or wait until the next video to install Python. There are two ways we can write Python code. First is in the
I'm just going to increase the speed because she's too slow, in my opinion. I'm going to increase it to like 1.2.
Python interactive shell, where you can see three little carets and write.
Okay, that's too much. So 1.1 it is.
Python code one line. There are two ways we can write Python code. First is in the Python interactive shell, where you can see three little carets and write Python code one line at a time. Here we just did a simple math calculation. And the second is a Python file or script where we can write longer Python programs. Let's start by using the interactive shell to assign values to variables. First, we'll create a variable length by assigning a value to it. Let's say 10 feet. When we create a variable, a piece of memory on your computer is created for it. Now there's a piece of memory labeled length that currently stores the value 10. From the shell, we can enter the name of the variable length to see its value, and we see that 10 is out.
So what she's saying, the shell, right? If you guys don't understand, just in case, right, somebody's watching, you go in the terminal, and I just type Python. First, I need to know if Python is available. I'll just type this, not found. Python 3, actually. Let's see. No? Interesting. So, pip-3. Pip is also, so like Python stuff is not here. what I can do, sudo apt install pip, or pip install pip, maybe pip harm should be there. Also should be here. Okay, let me increase the size though. Okay, maybe we can just use
Put
her
to the
method.
screen.
Install Python, Windows, right? And we'll use the latest version, or I think not exactly the latest, but like around that area. So Windows, if we go here, I don't want to download, I want to install like using Bash. I have my own habits. I'm not breaking up. Oh, PowerShell. We can use PowerShell. We can get used to a PowerShell. Okay, PowerShell exe. Best way to install Python with Windows command prompt will truly Chocolatey Windows Package Manager. OpenCMD run as a download and install Chocolatey using the following command. Okay, you can download the setup, install it automatically using the setup UI. Okay. Maybe we can get started. Setup install using Microsoft Store. Hello. Who uses Microsoft Store? That's user version. I'll rather just download from there. So I can just download from here, I guess. 3.13 is latest. Latest version release, but let's say not that or earlier. That's okay. Stable version, stable release is 3.32, which came on February 4th. So probably we can install that. This is the second maintenance release for this. Major new release, yes, new features, new improved interactive interpreter, based on PyPy's, featuring multi-level editing. Okay, blah blah blah. Locals, preliminary, JIT, just in time, JIT. Mac OS, Windows installer, 64-bit. That's R1. This is GPG, like the core, if you want to know. Mine is not AMD. Install better package. I think this should do. Okay. And let's see what this lady is saying. So,
Let's also add the width of the rectangle. Now we have another.
which is interesting because like I have it here in Kali. Soup is there. Python is there because we have worked on Python, right? Python 3. So when I type Python 3, this is the shell she's talking about. So if I do length equals 10 and then I say print length, it will come as 10 because we set up the value as 10. That's what she meant though. Just in case if you guys are wondering, I'll close this back. Close all of these. And let's go back to Pluralsight.
Another variable stored in memory. To finish our program, we can calculate the area as length times width, where the multiplication symbol is an asterisk. Most of the arithmetic operators are the same in Python as you may have seen on a calculator, for plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Now we also have another variable stored in memory, and we can see its value is the result of length times width, which is 10 times 20, which is 200. If we want to see the value of our variable area, we'll enter area into the shell and it outputs 200 like we just said. We've finished our first little Python program and we've seen our first data type, integers, or int for short. In some programming languages, you define what type the variable is. But in Python, it infers the type. Since amount is
So basically what data types are, right? For different things you store, like things are stored differently. For example, right? For water, you store it in bottle, right? Or liquid, you store it in bottle, right? For let's say something solid, let's say a bread, you can store it in like a box, right? You can't store it in a bottle. And that's what this idea of Python is, that you will be storing some things in int, which are integers, right? Integer is for basically any type of number other than decimal one. Integer, just anything, negative 10, negative 100, negative 10,000, or plus 1 million, positive 1 million, 0, anything like that. That's an integer. There are a couple more comings as we'll go through, and I'll explain.
set to a whole number, Python makes the type of amount an int. If we instead set amount to a decimal value, then Python would make type of amount a float. Floats are the other numerical data type we will use, which are short for floating point numbers or decimals.
So basically, decimals float, right? Decimals are float.
In the next two videos, let's install Python first, and then we'll create a tax calculator program. See you then.
Yep. So let's just install Python in this case first.
In this video, we're going to show how to install Python and Visual Studio Code.
So Visual Studio Code is by Microsoft.
Before we
Just go
start installing Python, we should check if we have Python already installed. On Windows, open a command prompt from the Start menu under Windows System. Then enter Python -- version, and you'll see either a version number like Python 3.11, or you'll see Python was not found, which is what we see, meaning it's not installed. If you're on a Mac, open the terminal from your Applications menu and type Python -- version. You should see that Python 2 is already installed by default on most Macs. But we definitely want Python 3 and the latest and greatest version. So now type in Python 3 -- version. If you have Python 3 installed, you will see a version printed out like I do here. If you don't have Python 3 installed, you'll see command not found. I can demonstrate that by putting in a typo as Python Z -- version, and that's what it would look like if you didn't have Python 3 installed. Since I already have Python 3.11 installed, and that's the latest and greatest, I don't need to install it. But if you did need it or wanted to install a later version, open a web browser and go to python.org/downloads. There will be a big download button that detects your operating system, so it has the latest Python version for Windows or Mac.
Damn. Yeah, I think it's getting late, so I'll also end the stream in a bit. I'm just trying to complete at least one of these. But yeah, you get some sleep, Panda. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Click on that button to start the download. Then you would run the installer and click through the default options. Let's hop back over to my Windows computer to actually go through the installer. Again, we'll go to python.org/downloads and click on the big button for the Windows installer, then run the download. On Windows, I always make sure to click add python.exe to path so you don't have to. Steps are the same on Windows or Mac. The Python interactive shell by typing Python or command.
Just was saying it. Thanks, Panda. Thank you so much. Boom, 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 boom. And here's the extra emoji I got from Twitch. There's one thing also I have to work on. Can you see these ones? Yeah, these are cool, right? Yeah, I like those. But yeah, let's get back into this. So we were at Python.
Or Mac.
Mac
Click
OS
on that button to start the download. Then you would run the installer and click through the default options. Let's hop back over to my Windows computer to actually go through the installer. Again, we'll go to python.org/downloads and click on the big button for the Windows installer.
Wait, I didn't get a big button. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay, let's get this one. So install now, customize no. I don't think we have to customize, right? Just simple install now.
Then run the download. On Windows, I always make sure to click add python.exe to
Ah,
path so you don't have to edit your path variable later.
okay, that's good to we can cancel it in time. You can send, and I can just delete these ones, I guess. Okay, close. Now I can close, delete this. Let's just use this, right? Yeah, you can use admin privileges. Get my
After it's
shit.
done installing, reopen your terminal or command prompt. And if you're on Windows, type python version again to check it installed, and then type Python and press enter. This will open the Python interactive shell. You can tell the Python interactive shell is open because it shows those 3 carets. Now we can start typing in Python code like some mathematical calculations. On a Mac in the terminal, you can also start the Python interactive shell by typing Python 3 and pressing enter. And then you can start typing in Python code.
Okay, so now this one is installed for us, right? YouTube Python start with the online tutorial, blah. Changes your machine configuration to allow programs including Python to bypass the teaching. Maybe?
At this point, we could start
Let's
writing
see.
Python programs in a simple text editor. But instead, we're going to use Visual Studio Code, which will let you grow into bigger applications. To install that, go to code.visualstudio.com, and you should see another big download.
So I won't allow this maybe for now. But I want to just see with this,
Button.
my Python should be there. Python now is there. Oh no. No? Oh, that's not there. Should be there. Now it should be there, right? Soup Daily. Hopefully this is not super small for you guys. It's not going in here. It's going for the command prompt then. Or does Ubuntu have it? Maybe just Python if not Python 3. No. Interesting. Python app. It's here. Okay. Hold up. Let me increase the font. You guys can see, right? But like Python is not working technically. Maybe I can in the Visual Studio Code I have to enter Python. I'll just install all the top ones, I guess. This is already installed. What happened to this one? Three. Build alone. Oh, okay. Thing happen. No, do not install this one. Formatters and debuggers. Okay, this should do the job. whatever we need. Let's see the video then. Cool.
The steps are the same on Windows or Mac, and we're just going to choose the default installation options. Once it's installed, open it up from the Applications menu or the Start menu.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we'll want to create a project folder or a folder where we want to store our Python programs. So click Open Folder, then I'm going to create a Python course folder on the desktop. But you can create it wherever makes sense for you. Then I'll close this welcome file and we can see the Project Explorer window for our project, which usually shows all of the programs or directories for your project. Ours is currently empty because we don't have any files created yet, but we can create a new one now called hello.py by pressing the New File button next to the Python course heading. Before we write any Python code, we want to customize VS Code for Python. First, we'll go to the Extensions view by selecting the squares icon. Then you can see which ones you have installed and search. We'll search for Python. And we want to install the first Python extension that comes up by Microsoft. I already have it installed, but otherwise I would click the green button next to it to install it. Then we want to tell VS Code how to run our Python programs by selecting which Python interpreter we want to use. So go to View, Command Palette, and search Python Select Interpreter. We want our new.
Okay. So we are in our extension. We got the extensions which we need, right? This is the one she was talking about, Python 1. So we got that. Okay, now let's say I want to go new file, hello.py. And I think I want to change instead of, I think I'll change it to rename to week 1. Because then it will take a lot of time. And then readme. Instead of this, I will say readme. My computer for okay, and run Python in just enter and get shell windows areas. Add command to your PS. Okay. Okay, so it's probably not set up in the path, I guess. That's what it means. So if I go here, save this. Okay. It's here, the interpreter is hid here, right? And then okay, relaunch the terminal. Okay. This guy here. I think because now things are installed. It's not coming properly. This is so funny. Like it's not working properly. Okay, now it's coming. Relaunch. I think now the Python would be there. Okay, disable the shortcut. In the path, It says no, nothing is there. Nothing important for me. Yes. This one will have Python. No. So I think I have to ask this. Okay, so if I go nothing here. So if I go perplexity, the windows in my on my computer. Okay, let's see what this guy can get us. Check if Python is all in the path. Okay, it's first thing to check if the paths. Environment variables paths. User profile. Okay, let me just not share all my paths right now with you guys. Sorry. I'll just do like this for a second. Okay, did I change? Yeah, cool. Device manager, computer name, change this, change that. Setup, performance, environment variables, advanced, yeah. So in the path, I don't see Python. Okay, what should I set it up to then? System variable is path. Okay, so my username, app data, local program, this. Okay, so there are two variables I have to set. Python in my name, under my name, and then it will go to app data. Local. Python, Python, Python. Not here in the local function. Okay. Programs and then Python. Okay, my bad. Sorry, lads. I'm learning. Promise I'm learning. Python, right? Browse directory, my name, then curl, local, then there's Docker programs. I'm looking for programs. Hell, there are billions of things here. There's pip also, but no PR programs here. Programs and then Python. Okay. Let's see if this worked. Then I will share my screen. No, still no. Oh, there are two variables I have to add. Interesting. And then I have to restart it. Then Okay. This is so stupid. And that's what I you know what's called Mac. Mac does so many jobs for you, you don't have to use your brain cell. Or waste your brain cell, at least in this case. Mm, okay, I'm adding another one to the file. Environment variables, another path, Python. Course to teach my name. And then we have programs. You want to play chess with me? Anyone want to play chess with me? Okay, app data, local, and PP programs, Python. Okay, so in the past, I'll add this. Uh, I'm an idiot. I just hate doing these kind of stupid stuff. Python, no. Okay, yeah. Fucking hell. This is crazy. I've been installed twice all. Ah, that didn't work at all. Maybe if I go bash like this, it was technically now restarting Python. Okay, great. Any idea regarding Python installation where I fucking up? Environment variables, path. Oh, you the one up there, not down. I did that one too. Okay. I only changed in the bottom one, not the top one. Maybe Python still not found. Okay, let's look at this another.
Subscribe and download over 1 million code snippet including this tutorial from codegive.it bash on Windows. You may encounter the Python. You can download and install the latest
That's so bad.
version of Python. Official website, Python.
I have to restart. Is there anything important here? Holy. Okay. What is this one about? Okay. Not good for now. Don't save. Stuff about wolves and stuff. Nope, not needed for this. Okay. Nope. Building AI apps will cover app development, essential AI resources, practical example, and every application, Azure AI resources. Okay, no. Nope. Nope. Okay, so deleting all these things. So I can delete this. Can close this. Close with bash. Hopefully starts a new refresh version. Oof. Nope. Like the interpreter is here, and I want to, let's say, run this hello print. Okay. Run. Python exe. So, what the hell? Python, just Python. Okay, so have to set up this as well. Let's say if I go in bin bash variables options, is there variables text key? No. I think because if I remove this and if I start the terminal again, this will be gone. Maybe. Oh no, it's not gone. Cool, that's good. So now that we are ready with the area setup and everything, let's get back into our course.
Newly installed Python 3.11, so we'll select that. And you can see it was already selected by default, but you may have many different Python versions installed, so this is
Okay.
how you can select which one you want. Now we can run our Python hello.py program by clicking on the play button in the top right. But first, let's write some Python code. I'm going to add a print statement with hello world in quotes inside of it. After we click the run button, we can see hello world was printed and it's working. We can also type Python hello.py to run our program from the terminal directly, but we actually have to restart Visual Studio Code to get that to work. And if we try again, we see hello world printed again. Or just run your scripts with the run button. I just wanted to show you that the terminal works just like a regular terminal. Now we're ready to start programming in Python.
Okay. Next.
Now that you have Python and Visual Studio Code installed, follow along with me as I create a sales tax calculator program. Let's open a terminal and enter Python 3 if you're on a Mac to start the interactive shell. If you're on Windows, open a command prompt and enter Python. Now let's enter in two variables. Amount equals 10 and press enter. That will be the purchase amount. And then type tax equals 0.06 and press enter. That will be our sales tax as 6%. Now we can use those variables to calculate the total. On the next line, let's enter total equals amount plus amount times tax and press enter. Then we can type just total into the shell and press enter to see its value, which is 10.6 or $10.60. Great, we created a little tax calculator program. The nice thing about the interactive shell is that we could easily test out a few lines of Python code. But the bad thing is if we want to try new values for amount or tax, we have to type out the whole thing again. For example, let's assign a new value to amount. We'll do amount equals 100. We'll leave tax alone. It can stay as 6%, which is still in memory. But then to calculate the total again, we need to enter total equals amount plus amount times tax again. Then to see what the new total is, let's enter total, and we see it is $106. The way we can save programs like this so that we can reuse them is to create a Python script like we just saw when we installed Visual Studio Code. So let's open VS Code and open the Python course folder we just created, or whatever folder you want to use. Then we'll create a new file with this button here and name it tax.py. A file with the .py extension is either called a Python program or a Python script is also fine. Then we can copy and paste the lines of code we entered into the shell before. And if we run this with the play button, we can see we actually don't get any output. That's because we can't just type the value we want like in the shell. We have to use the print function to see a result. So instead of just total, we type print followed by parentheses and then put the total variable inside the parentheses. Now if we run this, we can see $106 printed to the screen. Great! Now we have our working Python program saved to a file. And we can easily change the values if we want. Let's change amount to 200 and sales tax to 7%, and we can run it again easily. From now on, we'll write our programs in Python scripts instead of using the shell. But it's nice to know it's there if you ever need it to experiment.
So shell, I don't think anybody uses. It's just something that is there just for anybody to in the starting to get it done, or like just to see one command, but like nobody uses that. Everybody uses like the file, right?
In the next video, let's take a closer look at the print function and how to use text in Python. As we saw in the previous demo, we can call the print function to output values to the screen. If we run the sales tax program we just created, we'll see 10.6 is printed, which means $10.60. Print is a built-in function in Python. We use it by typing print and then the value we want to print, which is called the argument, in parentheses. You can think of this function as a black box machine. We don't know how it works, but we do know when it's called with an argument, it will output the given value to the screen.
So just like, a lot of time when you are driving a car, you don't have to know all the functions. You're just like press your foot on the gas pedal and just runs. You don't have to know, okay, how the gas or the petrol is being used to run the engine and all those stuff, right? Same thing with your phone. You don't have to know how the call is made, right? So that's the idea with the function.
What if we need to convert a float to an integer? We can wrap it in a call to the int function, which will try and convert 10.6 here to an integer by chopping off the decimal part.
So let's write a couple of things down so we don't forget a couple of things we learned, I guess. First of all is installation, right? So first will be installing Python official website, setting up Python, setting up path variable and aliases. That's two things done, and I think that's basically it now. Installation. I think that will be a better heading for this. So 1, right? 2 will be about installation after the installation is done. Python functions, couple of things. So one thing she mentioned is like converting float to data types, basically. Int, float, and using just
And if we print the result, we're left with the whole number 10. And if we want to force an integer to be a float, we can wrap the number in a call to the float function, which will try and convert 10 to a decimal. And if we print the result again, we have the decimal 10.0. Now that we've looked at numbers, what data type does Python use for text? Anything inside of double or single quotes is called text and is called a string.
so basically another one coming is string.
Here, the string Sarah is saved to the variable name. And if we print it, we can see it prints without the quotes, since the quotes are only used to tell Python that anything inside them is a string. Since we can use single or double quotes to create a string, here we're creating a string using double quotes for a store name. Using double quotes here makes sense since Sarah's store has a single quote inside of it for the apostrophe. If we instead had used single quotes to create the string, that would cause an error because the second single quote, which is the apostrophe, would end the string, and then Python wouldn't know what to do with the rest of the letters of the string. What if we want to concatenate or put two strings together? We can join two strings with the plus operator. If we
So joining two strings. Basically very simple, right? Like
have the string hello and the string name, we can concatenate them by using the plus operator and saving them to the variable greeting. If we then print greeting, we see hello Sarah. It looks a little funny because the two strings are smushed together and they need a space between them. Let's add that now. We can fix this by concatenating a space character inside the greeting as well, using the plus symbol. This looks just like if we were adding multiple numbers together. If we run this, we can see the space is added. How could we customize this program to work with other names? Let's ask the user to input their own name. Just like print, input is a built-in function in Python. We use it by typing input and then a string, which is a message to prompt the user for input.
So print screen. Yes, excuse me. Oh, there's an ad going. Okay. You guys have seen the ad? If not, then I think we can just keep going, right? This is fine. Well, nothing in between. And then we have, let's say, input, like your name. So I'll say input first. Input. What is your name? EGPG. Will get an input from a user.
Here we're asking, what's your name? When we run this line of code, the message, what's your name, gets printed to the screen, and then the program waits for the user to input something and press enter. I entered Alice, so that string is saved to the original myname variable. Now that we know how to use input, let's add it to our program. If we run our program again, we can see what's your name.
I don't think we have any ads coming, right? Yeah. Good. Hey, hopefully on here also you guys are chilling. That's good.
Is printed to the screen, and it's waiting for the user to type a response. Once they type Bob and hit enter, the string Bob is saved to the name variable, and the final greeting is printed as Hello Bob. You may be wondering if you have to enter the input right next to the prompt message because it looks a little cramped with no spacing. Let's ask the user to enter their name on the next line instead. Python and programming languages in general have a few special characters, and one of those is \n, which means new line. Now if we run our program, you can see that we enter the name on the next line, which looks a lot better. So far, we've learned about the basic, or also called
Okay, special characters, maybe I can add that quickly. That's nice. And then much better.
primitive data types. Ints, which are whole numbers, floats, which are decimals, and strings, which are used to store text. We've also learned how to get input from the user and how to print output to the console. Now we know how to do all of the things needed to create this age calculator that we showed at the beginning of the module. We know how to get input from the user, save the input to a variable, do simple math calculations, convert numbers to text, and print the results to the screen. So we'll see you in the next demo so we can create this age calculator.
Okay.
Do you know how many decades old you are?
So one thing I can do is quickly for you guys, age calculator demo. So first, before doing this, here we have this, right? Copy this. Practice. Period. This age. Yeah, and I wanted to make it small actually. One thing I can do here is I think my trick tip for you guys or whatever. J-Coder. Yeah, that's pretty easy. How's it going though? How's everything? Having a good day? It's good actually. So just to give you a recap, what I'm doing, right, is basically I started working on, oh, by the way, I think you were also there when I talked about the resume. So I'm writing a blog on the resume for the blog. Okay. This is my website I created. It's called hackerspub.org. I can drop the link here. I sometimes used to blog. I haven't blogged in a long time, but now a big blog is coming, and you will love it. I think everybody. I made it with thinking of everyone in this server I have. Right. I asked some people before too. Some people asked me about this last time too on Friday. I'm working on a blog on how to get resume tips to get into FANG. Right. Bunch of things are there. I'm working more and more. Like this will be a very long blog, but very easy to read. I'll say this. Very simple, a very interactive one. So that's one update from my side. Second, just going through Python quickly because I want to cover Python this week and I want to cover intro to deep learning with PyTorch this week. So we are going to do hacking in the starting of the day, starting of the stream, and then Python, learning towards our soup AI project where we will be creating a real life human, right? How does that sound? And this is the link. And if you don't know why this specific course, there are a bunch of free courses. Why this specific one? Because diffusion models, there are different type of models, right? Text to speech, all those things. Games, something like with the engines too. There's JavaScript engine, there's game engine, couple of other things. Even here, NLP course, there are some. Diffusion is the one that is related to building images, the one we want, right? And do you know Python? How good are you at Python? I know my Python, but because I promised everybody, like, I'll be going over stuff with everyone, so I'm just doing a quick recap, I guess. This is the age calculator, right? And good part is I'm noting down every single day, kind of in my notes. So if anybody wants, right, to see the progress. Oh, you good? Nice. That's good. That's good. Any good things you have done? Like, do you have a GitHub? Have you done anything?
To a variable, do simple math calculations, convert numbers to text, and print the results to the screen. You are?
Yep.
Let's make a program to find out. We want our program to ask us how old we are and then output how old we are in decades and years. To get started, let's open our code editor, and I have a folder for my code called Python course, and we'll go ahead and open that. Then inside there, I'll create a new Python script named decades.py. To start our program, we first want to ask the user how old they are using input. Then we'll save their answer.
Sorry, I'm just connecting my phone so I can reply
To a variable called age. Next, we can calculate decades with age divided by 10. If this is not a multiple of 10, we might get a float or a decimal, but that's okay for now. Let's run what we have so far and see if it's working. Remember, it's better to test our program early so we can make sure our program works and we aren't getting any errors. The program asks us how old we are, so that's great, but we see we get an error. It says type error, unsupported operand types for divide, string, and int.
Hold up, sorry, my phone is restarting. So you said you have a GitHub account. Awesome. Okay, send me a request. I would love to follow. This will be my for blogging. I'm doing this one. I have a different one called this. This is what I use for my some of the university time projects.
That's because everything that input returns is a string. So this input line is the same as typing age equals 37 in quotes. Then Python doesn't know how to divide the string 37 by a number, which is why it says unsupported. What we can do is convert the result of input to an int by wrapping the whole expression inside a call to the int function. Now if we run it again, we don't get any errors. Let's also add in a print statement for you are blank decades old. We'll use string concatenation. If we run this, we see we get another type error. It says you can only concatenate strings, not float to string. So let's convert our float to a string, and we get 3.7 decades old. But we actually wanted our program to calculate decades as a whole number, and then print out the remaining years. So how can we do that? Lucky for us, Python has a special operator for whole number division, or integer division, which is 2 backslashes. Then, if you remember division from back in school, we want to get the remainder after the whole number division. That will be the leftover years that didn't evenly divide by 10. Python also has an operator.
So I can, I think, mention this whole division. So decades is taken in the input. Decades is like basically divide and like just get the sum. Practice. It's good. This will go in the not special operators. So actually, hopefully you like this one because the second account I created for my schoolwork that has some really good stuff actually, some really good couple of things. Because I not only just did something, but I actually containerized some of the stuff and all those things. So there was some good stuff in there. I did like this. Okay. So operators, Junior Codal Gopal. Oh, okay. Sounds good. I'll add this. So no, this is and what do people call it though? Python operator. What is this one called? Floor division. Oh, I did the wrong one. So floor division. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to look at your GitHub too. That's great. You have like your GitHub at this age. Chatbot in C. Hope from Rohan. Oh, okay. How old were you again? You said like I think you were 14 or 15, right? That's what you mentioned. Oh, that's fine. That's good though. That's cool though. If you have these things, that's good. I'll follow you. So this is called floor. There are division, modulus. Modulus is a good one because that's the remainder basically. An exponential. I can do modulus problems are one of the hard ones in my opinion, for me at least, when it comes to like competitive programming. Those are where kind of lack
For that, which is
practice.
the percent sign. It's also called modulus. Now let's update our output message to say you are blank decades and blank years old. Remember to convert the years to a string. Let's run this and see what we get. It says you are 3 decades and 7 old. Let's correct the grammar and add a years in there.
Interesting thing, even if you don't do the years, like str years, it will still work
Great,
because
you are
that's what
3
basically happens with Python. It will automatically convert it to a string. The integer will automatically convert to
decades
string.
and 7 years old. We finished our program. Great job.
Sweet. So we completed this. How was your weekend though? Everything going good?
Computer programs need to be able to make decisions. But how do we make those decisions? A conditional statement or an if statement lets us make decisions in Python. As a simple example, let's say we want to go hiking and we want a computer program to tell us if that weather is good for hiking or not. You may say that's not a very realistic example, but let's think of a hiking app that needs to show a weather advisory. To start on our program, let's say if it's sunny and 90 degrees or higher, it's too hot and we're going to stay inside. Also, if it's raining, we want to stay inside as well.
90-degree Fahrenheit, not Celsius. If it was Celsius, we are doomed.
And otherwise, let's go enjoy the outdoors. To make these decisions, we actually had to compare the temperature and the forecast, and we'll see how to make comparisons in Python now. There are 6 comparators in Python: less than equal to, equals, greater than equal to, and not equals. From the shell, let's assign the value 95 to the temp variable, short for temperature. Then we can enter temp equal 95 for checking if the temp is equal to 95.
But it's interesting. I think I will mention this to you. When I was kid, right? There was something called Apughar, which is I'm really like still super unhappy that government have to take that down to make the parliament. But Apughar, and this was during Congress, like I think 2012 something. Apughar was the best amusement park of all time, in my opinion. And like my brother and I still like, even like I think almost after 15 years, we still talk about this. It was like so good, so affordable, the best place. The best place to be. I don't know if you have ever visited. Um, but yeah, man, this was the best place. They tried creating another one somewhere else in Delhi, but like the original one is going to be the original one, right? This is how the tickets used to look like. It was inspired from Lord Ganesha. The best thing ever. And there was this murti, like this thing here at Apugar. Man, those were the days. Like those things I miss. So it's good you're a kid. Enjoy as much as possible, man. No amount of money can bring a single minute back. So chasing behind money is not like, trust me, and you are already doing good. So this reminds me of everything. And it was at the Mandi House of Delhi's. I still remember like how well I remember how big part of my life it was. A Mandi House of Metro Delhi. That was the station, and this is where that was amazing. I went to like the Adventure Island and stuff, but nothing can touch what Apugar holds for me. That's some nostalgia right there. That's some nostalgia right there. It was the best thing ever. I wish I could, like, there are some things that can just come back the way they were. Even though it was like super packed majority of the time, it was still like loved by everyone. because it was the affordable one. It was really good. Yeah, man. A dead tail. Here it is. OG Appugar, 90s kids. Where you at, right? School picnics, everything. Those were like the good times. I'm going after this stream. I'm 100% reading the whole thing, whole chat here. Ah, man, you reminded me of those days, man. Those were good days. Yeah, let's talk about operators. I think operators are very simple things. Um, Here I can say operators, and I can just add this image, I guess. And I think for this image, right, here's how I will do it. I know this uses HTML, so IMG src. The Let's see if this will work. Yep, it worked. Now I have to put the size here. This is the good part about nowadays, like with a lot of these new what's this word? Yeah, they are very powerful. I agree. Those are the part, and those makes you happy. Like you might not have everything, but like just remembering those just will make you happy. Even the worst times, remembering this will makes you happy. So in the HTML tag img, there is width and height. Okay, width and height. I would say height is pretty. As the height equals. Perfect. Oh yeah, this is a self-closing one. Perfect. Worked perfectly. I'm happy. Okay, cool. Let's just leave it here. This is the best part, right? Like this is some. Yeah. I'm happy you use that, right? That's awesome. I wanted somebody to use that. Oh, also, remind me like I will start the giveaway for the stuff. I'll start the giveaway. Today, I promise I will start the giveaway so people like yeah. So I can do it like the subscriptions. It'll be nice. Okay, that's a way higher 200. If you become a front end engineer, this is one thing you will do all the time, and you will get paid for this. Really good. So this is it. So now let's get started back. Oh, I closed the Twitch accidentally. Twitch. Should be like this. It's free. Yeah. Okay, good. Hopefully this is still working. Yeah. I will tell you this. Full stack. About one thing about full stack, nobody's technically full stack. The whole part is like majority of what I have seen full stack people are basically backend developers who can do a little bit of front end coding. That's majority of the people who are consisting of full stack. And even with, let's say for me, I know how to create like Python, Django. I know how to work with Django. I know how to work with, um, what's this called from Java, Spring Boot. I am technically a front end, but I tell you this. A lot of people say, oh, it's great to have so many skills and stuff. Don't make the mistake. Do not make that mistake. Because if you just master one thing, no, and you can say, hey, I can in my organization or in my team, I'm the best one. 110% you will be paid more, 110% you will be valued more, 110% you will get more, 110% you'll get more pays because you have mastered something. Trust me, because if you, because another thing, because I've seen this, a lot of people make this mistake. Do not go for generalization, go for specialization first, then go for generalization. Because once you are specialized, people will pay you for that. And any AI can make those general things because they will be looking at Stack Overflow, all these things, Wikipedia, Stack Overflow, Tutorials Point, W3 schools, right? They can create a very small, easy thing. But once you are at a level, let's say you are going into, if you're in front end, you are going understanding how the PII. Do you know the meaning of PII? This word, PII. If not, I can give you a quick idea. PII consists of personally identifiable information, things that you can, and when you go on your browser, I won't open it here, I'll open it in here. So let's say if I'm on here, Auxiliary, right? Or I need a better actually. Let's go to Facebook maybe. That's what I was saying earlier. Facebook. If you go in the application storage, you see session storage, all these stuff. This is the local storage. There's session storage, and then there are cookies. Three big parts. As a front end engineer, you need to understand engineer. You need to not just a developer engineer. You need to understand things that you can store here and things you should store in the session, things you should store in local, things you should store through using cookies. Nothing, no PII should be stored in any of these. A lot of people make the mistake. Like your username should never be stored. Your location, like depending on the use case, it things are there, right? So a lot of people in the starting makes this mistake. I already learned this because I was doing cybersecurity, that things that should be there should not be there, right? So that's why I'm paid well. That's why I have the flexibility with my work, and that's why I have a security. If I go out tomorrow in the world of, like, let's say if I lose my job and I go out, I can get into jobs because I say, hey, I have mastered to React. I know in and out of React, a big developer library, and people will love that. And they say, can you do full stack? Yes, I can do backend. My mastery is in front end, and they would be happy to take me. So don't make the mistake. That's, I can tell you right now. Some of my friends have made that mistake. Do not make that mistake. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm currently working on C++. I'm going to complete 3 years. I'm doing C. Yes, it can be used. I agree. But let me tell you, nobody uses C++. I think like 1 or 2% people, or let's say 1%, the whole world have, like, let's say a million companies. One, like 10, 20 companies, let's say 100 companies use C++. Reality is nobody uses C++ for front end. Everybody uses React or Angular or WordPress. WordPress is the biggest one. WordPress, I think, covers 34% of the world when it comes to websites, which is a big number. 30 WordPress coverage. I don't think there will be a stat here properly. But like if you look at the front end. Look at the front-end frameworks. Majority of them will be written in JS or Python. Two big ones. JS or JSX, both are same. React, I have mastered this because this is so widely used. So widely used. Right? Angular is a good one. I had no Angular too. So I cover like basically majority. Angular is Google. React is Facebook, Amazon, Twitch. A bunch of them use this. So go focus on that, which is used by majority. And if you master that, you can keep on switching. Very few places you will see C++, but it's important to start with C++ because then you really understand the ins and outs of programming, paradigms and in and out of actual programming like pointers. Once you learn that, go something that has a market value. Best ways to look what has market value. Go on LinkedIn, jobs. Let's say if you want to be a full stack developer, right? Full stack developer, Stripe, beautiful company, really good company. I might actually apply here, who knows. So, correct. And a lot of them will actually say, if they look for React or they say, hey, you should have experience in front end, we will, and if you are really good with, like, for example, with C++ or any of these, if you're really good, you can go in any, like, you can go in React. I learned from Angular. I became easily comfortable with React because I knew the basics and fundamentals. Same with C++. Once you know C++, you can go to Java, Python, anywhere. Because Python technically is built on top of C++. So here, preferred qualification. What is this? Minimum required professional experience in software development, technical steward, blah blah blah. See, didn't even mention if they're looking for a specific technology, I guess. End-to-end experience, but they didn't mention technology. They need somebody to understand. In let's say another great place. Well, no, not Wells Fargo. AngelList. This is another great one. A lot of people, I don't know why they don't use this for finding job, but AngelList job. This was, I think that was the name, but I think they changed. Yeah, Well Found. They changed to Well Found, the name. Find your next job. This is more for startups who recently got funding and they are looking for, and you can get really good pay in these. So let's say if I'm looking for something, because these are startups, a lot of them are looking for specialty. Let's say and they will tell you they are looking for like a particular, let's say software you need to know. And here you can look at full stack. So let's say trending jobs, view all jobs. And then let's say I want to go for show me full stack, the one you are looking for. You can mention country, doesn't matter. I'll say any city. So full stack developer engineer, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Python, Java, Go. Go is a big one, very useful. UX design teams, REST API. REST API, if you have done C++, instead of going anywhere else, learn about REST APIs. If you want, I can teach you about APIs. Let me know what you guys want. With APIs, I have specialty. I have created thesis in my final year and data security whole level stuff. So I know about that. Communication skills is a great thing, and agile. These things a lot of people are able to get with REST APIs. That's what you need to learn next. If you learn any programming language in the backend, next thing to learn is REST APIs, nothing else. Don't even bother about anything. Just APIs. Everything is API. Learn API. Internet is API. The whole internet is basically API. You need to learn that. And let's say, even with a thing that, let's say if I'm here, I will be searching for front-end engineer, dev. Let's see what they want. You are unlimited paid time off. You are available for experience, right? That's good. Doesn't end at the framework React. Your knowledge of software engineering doesn't end at a framework like React. So basically JavaScript they want, which is React or Angular. Tesco. Oops, unexpected error. Yeah. Same thing, basically the same. I do want the knowledge of APIs, and it would be great for me to learn about it by you, as you have already did it, and you got it. Yeah, 100%, man. I will help you. And this is not sponsored. This is the company I worked with during my internship, and I still work with them. Tijla. Look at their This is the API governance, everything about APIs I learned from here. Uh, I can't show certain things. One second, let me change something. Okay, I'm just logging in. I don't want to share something which I should not be sharing. So if you go here, one of the big things, let's say if you want to go on find something, you go on Google to find it, right? Same thing here. In APIs, it's hard to find. So we created basically the Google of APIs to help people find good APIs anytime they want. Let's say I want to search for AI related, or I can have categories. So best thing to do, create a, let's say, weather app, a very easy but really good one, because you are looking at the location, you are getting data, you are doing, if it is cloudy, what to do and all those stuff. Look at weather app, and there should be one here. I remember social engineering, DC weather here, transportation, automobile, work life. Remember weather was a thing here. Natural resources. Oh, skills, social media, software, no. Healthcare, natural resources, logistic, information. Maybe geography. Yeah, I think this. Oh, environment and weather. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I can't see. It's like one name for me. So it's loading. So right now it will find all the APIs for you. There are so many APIs. No need to pay for any single API. Do not like, there are so many APIs you can find, just like so many services, right? You can find so many software you can find which have a free version, like Adobe and stuff. They have a free version like GIMP and stuff. APIs here, if you look in our APIs, there will be so many free APIs. And let's say you want to see create an app which is very popular idea of air quality index. This is by government of India. Look at this API, right? And you can test it here itself and then add it to your system. This is the endpoint. So there is API, right, which is like government of India's date weather API. Then endpoint will be a specific endpoint with the whole thing. You can get the data, right? You can add like, okay, I want to add Delhi, maybe, or Chennai, right? This system is pretty good. And you can have like free versions of it. If you're a student, let me know. Probably I can talk. Here are a bunch of things I have tested. I got the response back. Okay, created this, quality, everything, all I can get here. Information, city, stuff, latitude, longitude. So much information, right? Pollution ID is this, latitude is this. So much information is there. Now use this information connected with another API, with like, what's this called? Google Maps API. Show that and then show the pollution quality, average value. This is the value of the air quality. This is good because it's near sea area. This one is not so much near sea area, so it's bad, right? Delhi might be on another level. Let's see if Delhi is here too. Tirumala, that's actually good. Tirumala is good. But yeah, that's the idea I wanted to give you. And for testing APIs, this is like a good place to go. I also use here, and I can just drop the link for you guys. So teachlab.com, great company, and like the owner here, the CEO, like one of the nicest person I can actually ever work for. Really, really good person. Yeah. So that's an idea I wanted to give you. If you are looking into job, or if you are looking for a path in life in terms of tech, master one thing. Master one thing. Because if you are like, the best example is google.com, Google Jobs. These are the places you want to go, right? If you are not unlike me, because I just want to work remote, I don't care for where I work for. I want remote. That's my big thing. I don't like spending time in traffic. Did that my whole life. So these places, right? Google, they will look for a specialized, like if you can show that you have mastered, they don't care about a specific, let's say, framework or stuff. But if you say, hey, I've mastered React to a whole another level, you are able to show it. They're like, okay, this guy knows React inside out. We can put him in any place, in any of the front end frameworks like Angular. He can understand that. Because at the end, things are same, concepts are same. It's just how they implemented it, what trade they did, whether performance, memory, what that can change, but like the fundamentals will remain same. And just look at these, right? Like bachelor's in this, 8 years implementing this, very general. But now, once you say, okay, I know these things, then they will start asking questions just about that. So just what I've learned in my life. Now, with that being said, let's complete this course of conditionals on and create this rock, paper, scissors game for this. And let me know if you have any other questions. Oh, my app here closed. Okay. So hopefully this is helpful, right? Let me know if this is, and if you want me to create an app in front of you, I can do it over the weekend using APS. I can just show you a really good example over the weekend. Yeah. Maybe this weekend I can do resume, and next weekend I can do yeah. How about this? I do a resume one this weekend. Next weekend I will do like so 29th I can do this. On 5th I can do a really simple one. I can prepare a boilerplate code for you, and you can just fork it from my GitHub and create your own. How about that?
And we can
And you will see my coding, like I will be able to talk to you, explain you every single thing, and you can program alongside.
think of this comparison as asking if the temperature is equal to 95. And we get true because 95 is equal to 95. Also notice that assignment is one equal sign and the equals comparator is two equal signs. Next, we'll check if temp is less than 90 and we get false. Now let's look at how these comparators are used inside an if statement to make a decision.
Now, interesting idea here. This is also creating a simple weather.py to tell hot, cool, right? You can do the same with the front end code and pick which image to put. Interestingly, a thing, I have to open it in here. Jenkins is a very interesting, one of the best DevOps tools. See how they have this images of weather to display things that have, like, if it is super sunny, so that pipeline or that code, right, that server is always building. Super stormy, it has been failing a lot. So same idea, simple thing, right, but really cool thing. And same thing.
An if statement lets us decide what to do. It's like saying, if this comparison is true, then do this chunk of code. In our program, again, we'll set the temperature equal to 95. Then we have the keyword if followed by the comparison is temp greater than 80, which evaluates to true. So let's add something to do inside the if block. We'll add two print statements inside that if statement. Since this if statement evaluates to true, then the following print statements are run. After running this, we can see it's too hot and stay inside are printed to the screen. Any indented code that comes after an if statement is called a code block, and that's what's run if the if statement is true, like we just saw.
This is, no matter where you go, this is one of my tips why I'm able to do better than a lot of people I feel in programming, and I'm fast. Because I'm able to create, like, I will not do coding like this. Best way I will do is I will open my drawing ideology, right? You see I draw, and I like create all these if conditions like this in like proper flowchart diagram, which you will learn in your first year of programming or something. Let's say if condition this, right, comes as a, let me create proper one. You can use Figma too. I just like to draw. So diamond represent a condition. So whatever is the condition, right? If it is green or if it is true, go here. If it is false, go here with the red. I draw these things because then programming is so much easy. Same thing it can happen here, same thing here. I know exactly what all things to hit, when to hit. Way easy. Makes my life easy. So good to know these things. Yeah, and practice it. Like a lot of people don't practice it. I've seen they always like are stuck in code or their code has issues. If you do these, you are able to like address a bunch of things. Yeah, that's a good practice. Flowchart is really good practice to do. And you once you become a good programmer, or even if you're doing interviews at Amazon and stuff, it's important to like chart these things out. They need to see these things, and those are the candidates that get selected.
If we instead set the temperature to 75, the if statement evaluates to false because 75 is not greater than 80. So the indented code block is not run. If we run our program again, we can see there's no output. If we add another line of code that prints "have a good day" after the if statement and its code block, we can see that's where the program continues running after the if statement. For indenting code in Python, usually 4 spaces are used. But if you then use 2 spaces for indenting somewhere else, you'll get an indentation error. Most IDEs take care of this for you when you tab over, so you don't have to worry about being consistent. It's just something to be aware of. In our previous example, when the if statement is false, we'd like to do something else. So how do we do something else after an if statement is false? We can use an else statement. So if an if statement is true, we run the code block that's indented below it. Otherwise, we'll run the indented code block beneath the else statement. So in this case, our temperature is not greater than 80, so the else block is run. When running our program, we can see the "enjoy the outdoors" is printed to the screen. This is working great so far, but what if we want to check another condition? Like if the temperature is less than 60, print "it's too cold, stay inside." We can check another condition by adding an else if check, or elif for short in Python. Here we'll check if temperature is less than 60, then we'll print "it's too cold, stay inside." Since we updated the temperature to be 50, the if statement is false, but the elif statement is true since 50 is less than 60. So we see "it's too cold and stay inside" printed. If instead the if and the elif statements were false, the else block would still run. What if we wanted to change our program to only print "stay inside" or "enjoy the outdoors"? We can see that we're actually repeating this line of code that says print "stay inside" twice. Is there a way we could combine
This is also very important. Modularize, so you don't repeat anything. Modularize, use functions. Modularize, everything modularize.
the first 2 if statements? The keyword "or" lets you combine multiple comparisons. At least one of those comparisons needs to be true for the whole if statement to be true. Since our temperature is set to 75, the greater than 80 comparison is false. Less than 60 is also false, making false or false a combined false result. So if we run this, we can see the else statement is run and "enjoy the outdoors" is printed.
Okay, so quick brief out of this, or like whatever the information here was. I can close this. Python basics, conditionals, operators. I can have this. Okay, that's fine. I'll go here and I will say conditionals. Conditionals. Here I just want like to create so it's easy for everyone to like just go through this log quickly and remember everything. So I have conditionals, right? First is if, and it's called else if, and else, right? 3 things for conditional. And then I have logical Oh, this should be outside. Logical operators. There are three. One is or, and not. Very simple ones, right? Or first or second, right? And this is short circuit is one of the concepts here. Have a look at short circuit, look for this later. Basically what this means, right? If let's say there are two conditions, right? Let's say there are two conditions, A or B, right? How if condition works is basically, let's say, I want either A to be correct or B to be correct for this to be true, right? So if let's say A comes first and A is true, we don't even check B, it directly goes here instead of checking this part. And that's called short circuit because we know the answer is true. If A is true, no need to go. And that's the whole idea of short circuit. Very useful when you are, let's say, dealing with some functions or getting some values that are like very big, or you know something that actually like is true majority of the time, then you want to use this because then that makes your performance way better. And it's very useful. Like I will say, short circuit is a very useful thing. When depending on your situation, what you're coding, and basically both should be true, not whatever is true or false, opposite of that.
The temperature is now set to 50, so 50 is not greater than 80, but is less than 60, which becomes false or true, which evaluates to a true. So print stay inside is run. Since we want to look at the forecast and not just the temperature, let's add another variable that stores the forecast as a string and stores rainy, cloudy, or sunny as the values. Like or, and lets you combine multiple comparisons, but all comparisons need to be true for the whole and if statement to be true. Since the temperature is 75, it's less than 80, which is true. But if we check the forecast, it is rainy, so we get false, which becomes true and false, which evaluates to false overall because both need to be true for an and statement to be true overall. So here, the code block below the else statement would be run. Now we updated the forecast to be sunny. The temperature is still 75, which is less than 80, so we get true first. And if we check the forecast, it's not equal to rainy, so we get true there. So the overall if statement is true and true, which is true. So this time, print go outside would be run. Another keyword not lets you negate a comparison and can make your code a little more readable. Now our if statement can read as if not forecast equal to rain. Still sounds a little like.
So basically here saying if forecast, let's say if it is rainy, it will become true, right? This part forecast equal rainy, this will become true, not of true, go outside. I don't know why that is like not rainy, but it is going, forecast will be rainy. It is going to be rainy, so you should technically stay inside. Wait, true, not true, false. Oh, this is good. This is good. My bad.
Caveman, but maybe getting a little bit more readable. Since forecast is equal to rain, this evaluates to true, and then we can take the opposite of that because not is in front of it, and the whole statement is false. Since not negates a comparison or makes the opposite of it, not true becomes false, and not false becomes true. So the else code block would be run and stay inside would be printed. In summary, we just saw 3 logical operators in Python. Or and lets you combine comparisons, and not lets you negate a comparison. And as you may remember, the primitive data types we've seen before are int, float, and string. Another data type that can be used in comparisons is called a Boolean, which can store either a true or false value. Now that we have a Boolean data type to use, let's use it to store whether it's raining or not. Now the if statement reads, if raining, print stay inside, which is getting even closer to reading like English. If we run this, raining is true, so the print statement is run and stay inside is printed to the screen. We could also change this to say if it's not raining, then print go outside, otherwise print stay inside. Since raining is true, the if statement becomes if not true, which is false, so the else statement is run and stay inside is printed. Now that we've seen a wide array of if statements or conditional statements, let's practice what we've learned so far in a demo for creating the game Rock, Paper, Scissors.
So I think this is where I will end my stream actually. It is like too late. I have work in the morning. I want to show you something interesting. Can you guys see this? So you can do that too on my stream. This is like some of them are free. I don't know why so many have value or bits to it. But if you go on Twitch, or basically you are on Twitch right now, and if you look at this sticker thing, you can just select the 0 ones and you can like place some of these. So this is something I added, one thing to do. You can do it, and yeah, that's all. You guys can see that button. But yeah, that's interesting thing I added. So this will turn back. But hopefully you guys like it, right? And I will be starting. Please to support the stream, right? It will be great if you just stick around. Go grab water. I just will play an ad, and do not forget to join the Discord. I will be starting my giveaway today. And see you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah. Let's go. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm here still. Feel free to ask any questions till the stream end. Just putting the ads on. So, cheers. Thank you.
Dad, I'm a genius!
All right, yo. Thank you so much.